Unforgettable NFL moments. In the over 100-year history of the NFL, there have been countless moments that have left fans in awe with their jaws on the floor. Whether it be impossible upsets to mind-boggling plays, today we will break down 5 unforgettable NFL moments. This first moment was one of the greatest plays the game has ever seen that put an end to arguably the greatest team ever assembled. 1. The helmet catch. The New York Giants came into Super Bowl 42 as 12-point underdogs. Since this game, there has never been a bigger spread in Super Bowl history. They found themselves down 14-10 on their own 44-yard line with only 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the game. Giants quarterback Eli Manning called a deep passing play in hopes of putting New York in scoring position. The Patriots' pass rush quickly got to Manning, with Jarvis Green grabbing him by the shoulder while Richard Seymour grabbed him by the back. Manning was able to shake off the 2 tacklers and launched a pass before getting drilled by Mike Vrabel. Waiting for the pass was Giants wide receiver David Tyree on the Patriots' 24-yard line. Due to the pressure that Manning faced, this was not the most accurate pass, and Tyree was forced to jump with Patriots safety Rodney Harrison in an attempt to come down with the ball. At first, Tyree had the ball with both hands. However, Harrison swiped at the ball and knocked Tyree's left hand off of the ball. While this would have almost certainly resulted in a drop, he was able to use his right hand to secure the ball against his helmet. This 32-yard reception led to a game-winning touchdown that put an end to the Patriots' perfect season that would have made them the only team in NFL history to go 19-0. Along with this, in large part due to this play, the Giants were able to pull off the biggest upset in Super Bowl history since Super Bowl 37. When asked about this play on its 15-year anniversary, Tyree was quoted as saying,
"I got to thank all those offensive linemen for not blocking anybody, because obviously it was a play breakdown, and at the end of the day, you just get to that backyard ball and you make a play, and that's exactly what Eli did. He did a little Vanilla Vic situation there. That was. I think we were both out of character because I'm the black guy who can't jump either. So it was just 2 guys making a play, man, and we got some great things done to really shift the momentum. And I think everybody knew once that play happened that we probably were going to win the game. I knew I had it. That was what I went up. You go up to high point the ball, and I knew I got 2 hands on it, but I was mentally prepared for some contact. And so when it came, I'm just clutching. In my mind, I'm just clutching. I don't know where the ball is. I remember securing it, the ball, with that second hand again, but nothing in my head is saying I just caught it on the side of my helmet.
Up next is another improbable win in a massive playoff game that came off of an incredible play. 2. Music City Miracle. The Tennessee Titans came into their wild card matchup against the Buffalo Bills with a sour taste in their mouths. Over half a decade prior, they were on the wrong side of history when the Bills took them down in the playoffs in a game now known as the comeback, where Buffalo fought back from a 35-3 deficit to win 41-38 in overtime. This game would be a defensive battle, with both teams trying to get something going on the offensive side of the ball. With only 16 seconds left in the game, the Bills made a clutch field goal that gave them a 16-15 lead. Tennessee drew up a play called home run throwback. Buffalo would perform a pooch kick that was fielded by Lorenzo Neal. Neal then handed the ball to Wycheck. While they did not know this at the time, this played perfectly into the Titans' hands. Wycheck then threw the ball across the field to Kevin Dyson, who had a wide-open path to the end zone. He ran 75 yards to the end zone and gave the Titans a 22-16 victory. The play would end up being reviewed to see if the pass from Wycheck was an illegal forward pass or not. However, as we know, the play was upheld. After the game, Dyson would go on to say that he debated going out of bounds to allow the team to simply kick a game-winning field goal. However, he saw that the only man left to beat was Titans kicker Steve Christie, who was being blocked by 2 players, so he chose to keep going for the touchdown. This next moment is considered by some as the greatest play in NFL history. 3. The Immaculate Reception. On December 23, 1972, the Pittsburgh Steelers were set to take on the Oakland Raiders in the AFC divisional round of the playoffs. This was a defensive battle, and the Steelers found themselves down 6-7 on their own 40-yard line with only 22 seconds left in the game. Steelers quarterback Terry Bradshaw faced heavy pressure on his dropback and rolled out to his right and threw to the team's running back John Fuqua. Fuqua was then hit by Raiders safety Jack Tatum right when the ball got there. The force of Tatum's hit sent the ball hurling back several yards. Steelers fullback Franco Harris then scooped up the ball right before it hit the ground. He then began running towards the end zone, being forced to hit Raiders defensive back Jimmy Warren with a brutal stiff arm. This play gave the Steelers a 13-7 lead. However, it was a highly controversial play. The refs were forced to determine if the ball bounced off of Fuqua or Tatum. If it had bounced off of Fuqua, then Harris's reception would be deemed illegal. However, if the ball ever bounced off of Tatum at any point of the play would have stood as it went on the field. As we know, the officials would rule in favor of the Steelers. However, for years following the play, Raiders players would still contend that it was an incomplete pass. There was some built-up animosity between the two teams stemming from this game that it has been speculated that the Immaculate Reception led to a bitter rivalry between the Raiders and Steelers and one of the most violent eras of football. Up next is what would go down as one of the worst played calls in Super Bowl history and potentially put an end to what could have been an elite dynasty. 4. Malcolm Butler's game-winning interception. The 2014 Super Bowl would end up being one that haunts the Seattle Seahawks for the remainder of franchise history. They found themselves in a perfect position to win their second consecutive Super Bowl. Despite being down 24-28 to the New England Patriots with only 26 seconds left in regulation, they had the ball at the 1-yard line. It was only second down, and they had one of the best goal linebacks in the league at the time in Marshawn Lynch. Despite going with the no-brainer play call of sending Lynch up the gut and burning a timeout if he did not score, the Seahawks coaching staff rather decided to line up in shotgun and give Russell Wilson a chance to throw for a touchdown. However, this play call would end up blowing up in their faces. Malcolm Butler jumped a slant route that was intended for Ricardo Lockette and sealed the game with an interception. The Seahawks would not see the Super Bowl again during their Legion of Boom era, and there is a chance that if this game went differently for Seattle, they could have been the league's next dynasty. Rounding out the list is another clutch play from the playoffs that would go down in history. 5. The catch. Two powerhouses in the San Francisco 49ers and Dallas Cowboys were set to take off in the 1981 NFL Championship game. This is a game that came down to the wire, and the 49ers found themselves down 27-21 with 4 minutes and 54 seconds left on their own 11. Joe Montana led a masterful drive down to the Cowboys' 6-yard line. However, the 49ers found themselves in a tough spot with it being 3rd and 3. Montana quickly faced a fierce pass rush and was forced to roll out to the right and back away from the pressure to stall for as long as he could, double-clutched and threw a prayer to the end zone off of his back foot. Out of nowhere, Dwight Clark made a leaping catch in the back of the end zone. The extra point would give the 49ers a 28-27 lead. They would then go on to win the first Super Bowl of the Joe Montana era the following game.